Hey, welcome in. You're listening to another daily editorial on the Korelin Economics Report. Want to know what you guys think about the way we're doing these via video now. The majority of our editorials from now on will be video, and I hope everybody enjoys them. I personally find them to be a whole lot more effective. Got Del Steiner on the line with me right now. Del is, as you all know, with all of my disclosure, Del's a really good friend. I've known him for years and years. He and his family are friends of my family's. I own shares in his company, and they are sponsors on our website. So none of this is arm's length information. Unfortunately, I'm not a registered investment advisor, and I'm head over heels into premium exploration. I want to talk about a few things with Del, and Del didn't know exactly what questions I was going to ask him, but I want to ask him some issues that were brought up by some of the listeners when we did an update on premium just very, very recently. One of the issues is the fact that it would appear that, well, let's talk about share price first. Now, rather than just getting Dell's opinion on what's going on there and what happened there, I want to give you not just my opinion, but what I found as a result of some due diligence that I did along with a friend of mine. Mickey Fulp specifically. We looked at the insider trading reports for premium, and interestingly enough, the reason the market, it would appear, was knocked down as badly as it was because a financier, for lack of better terms, in Toronto, in a very short period of time, actually less than 3 weeks, sold upwards of 3 million shares on the market. That's not a good sign, and I have to believe that the reason they did that wasn't because they didn't believe in premium, just because they are very, very black and white, and and Mickey feel perhaps a little bit misdirected in their actions. You got any comments on that?
Yeah, we had a conversation about this a couple of calls ago, and I mentioned that this had taken place. This particular financier was underwater substantially in his whole exploration portfolio. So he picked a percentage of each of his companies, and I think there were 15 of them, and sold them about like he did us.
Well,
So it isn't just us. Our whole space is off 60%. So we went from 40 to 15, 16, and it's it's a pretty simple common denominator throughout the space.
yeah, I think that's very, very interesting, and that's an action that I think is probably not particularly prudent on the part of that particular seller. And rather than name names, all you have to do is go to SEDI, which is the Canadian website, and you can see in black and white who that is. Now, a number of other people have said basically they feel that premium is kind of like a paper mill when it comes to issuing shares. Well, again, the due diligence that I did, which included both going into SEDI and also going into the financial statements of the company over the past few years, shows that to be really not the case at all. You know, companies in Canada can issue a huge amount of share options if they want to. Premium is at a point right now where their outstanding options are less than 5%. You don't find that in a lot of companies. Also, in terms of insider trading, documented insider trading, you guys aren't doing any.
No, our entire crew, both officers and directors, have faith in the project, Al. So they know that the share price is an aberration and know that that's going to change. They can't talk about why they know that, but it is, it's pretty common here in the office as to what eventually will go on. And, the people ought to remember that we had 60 million shares outstanding when we started these Idaho projects. We financed ever financing with institutions since then, except the first one, which was $500,000 at 10 cents that we took personally. That was all done inside, and that was our first drill program on these Idaho projects. So the dilution in the company from 60,000 to where it is now, every dime of it has been raising money for exploration on this, what has turned into be a huge Idaho project.
Yeah, and I find that to be very interesting. Dell, the reason I wanted to bring this up is I really think there are some misconceptions out there that I'm firmly convinced are simply not true. Okay, let's go to something right now. I mean, I considered that to be very positive, but let's go to one other thing. What's going to happen with premium? What are your plans for the next 6 months over in Idaho?
We have not altered our plans from what we've put out by news release. We intend to drill the reverse circ to advance the resource on the Friday. We have done a lot of work based on Dr. Brad Johnson's uh, geological report on the structures involved. Remember, we've got overburden, so it takes exploration tools like geochem and geotech to actually see what's under there, plus a good structural guide. And so we've outlined new exploration drilling on the balance of the shear zone based on the structural data that's jumping out at us. We have permitting in progress for those sites, and we will drill some of those this summer as follow-up exploration along with the 5,000-foot reverse circ program to advance the Friday. So basically, we're on track as we've been on track to produce the program that we outlined, I think, in January.
You know, Big Al doesn't go out on a limb like this as much as I have for a whole lot of people in the industry. Only people that I really trust. I want to know what your comments are, you guys out there listening after you watch this. This is a very, very interesting situation, and I'm firmly convinced that my investment is okay. Don't take that as investment advice, you guys. I'm not a registered investment advisor. Okay, here's a bit of an addendum. Dell, you came out with a press release yesterday talking about the financing that is now being put off for a short period of time. If I'm not mistaken, we're probably talking about 2.5 months. What's going on there? Why did it happen? And what does this mean for premium?
Well, it's actually not the financing that was going forward is not being put off. We're terminating the prospectus financing because we can't get the tech report that some administrative changes in the rules has created a necessity for done without a review of the property on the ground. Unfortunately, as you know, in Idaho, we have 2 or 3 feet of snow right now, and the tech report requirements now for premium are to do a tech report on the entire 180 square kilometers, which requires a site visit and some drill collar visits, which ultimately is going to be very beneficial to the company because we're going to have a tech report second to none for a platform going forward. So we're looking forward to that, but it changes the dynamic for the financing. So if you look at the news release, what you'll see is that the exchange makes some comment, or the BC Securities makes some comments about premium based solely on the fact that we do not have a valid tech report on file as we speak. They gave us a laundry list of data, as you will see in the release, as to what we need in the new report. That's virtually complete at this time, except for the site visit. So it's an administrative problem, not a data or property problem, but it delays the prospectus, which has already been delayed because of this for a couple of months, and we're pulling the prospectus. As you can see, we're looking at our viable alternatives, and in the next couple of days, we will have financing out there to do the infill drilling. This does not change anything in programs going forward,
Well, the
or the
one
money
thing,
we're going to raise.
yeah, the one thing that I think it changes in my mind anyway is as these results are released, you very well may not have to do a financing at 15 cents.
That's possible.
And to me, that's
Yeah.
that's a very optimistic tone. Okay, guys, there you have it. Remember, this is not investment advice. I'm not a registered investment advisor. Dell is not a registered investment advisor. I own shares in the company. I have colleagues who own shares in the company, specifically the folks from the Encompass Fund. We are not arm's length at this point in time. We're just keeping you updated. You can do whatever you want. Don't take our word for anything. You know what? Don't take anybody's word for anything.